This scale model from IMC is something different. It models a complete project by Mammoet, and that's the exchange of a blast furnace converter in Holland. It comes in a big box containing lots of trays, and if we start with the biggest one, we'll cut the factory ceiling and lift the lid, and that reveals many different components that have to be used to build the model. In the bottom tray are more parts, including the massive converter. There are a large number of separate smaller trays, and they contain Scheuerle self-propelled modular transporters. The parts are all nicely wrapped in soft paper, and there's a bag of small connectors. Also included with the model is some good documentation, and the main manual starts off with information about the real project and how the work was carried out. It then goes on to list out all of the parts, and there are quite a lot of them. And then the manual goes into step-by-step building instructions for the model. There are 18 stages, and they're all clearly explained by the manual. So a good job has been done to provide high quality documentation. But that's not all, because you also get a generic manual for the SPMT modules, and that covers all of the different types of module, not just those that are in this set. You also get a Mammoet collector card. So let's roll up our sleeves and get on with the assembly. And we'll start by joining a power pack unit to one of the modules. It clips into place along the top, and then you secure it at the bottom with a large steel pin. It's a bit fiddly and not quite as nice as the sliding bolts on other modules, but it does form a good connection. To join up modules, it's the same process. You insert some small plastic clips in the top edge. Then you bring the modules together and it's a snap fit connection. And then you turn the whole assembly over and insert one of the steel pins. You continue on, and then you have a full line of modules like this. You need two, and here's another one that I prepared earlier. And the next job is to connect the two lines together. For this there are two special plastic spacer clips, and they get clipped onto the edges of the module. And if it's done right, they should just snap into place. Now we can start to build upwards, and there's some plastic wooden mats which just clip together and get placed on the units. And on top of those we add some load spreaders. They clip together and you locate them on the tabs sticking up from the wooden mats. Next there are some more load spreaders to add, and they overhang at one end because they will support the jacking system feeders. Next we add on the jacking system bottoms, and that's swiftly followed by the jacking system tops, and then adding the jacking system towers. These are nice metal parts which interlock reasonably well. With the towers built we can add on the gantry beams, and again these interlock into the upstand tabs on the towers. We are working at height now, so we need to make sure we don't fall off our chair as we add yet more load spreaders. And then the last item we add on top are the nicely detailed skid tracks, and these get used to slide the load into place. Now we drop back down to the base of the towers to add a couple more parts, and these are the jacking system feeders which clip into place. Although as you can see the Cranes Etc. engineer is making a meal of it. The jacking system requires power, and there are two power pack units to add, and they just get placed on the centre of the modules. Finally we can add the load, and here it flies in like some giant flying saucer, but in fact the real converter weighed in at over 700 tons. You carefully position it so it locks into place on the tabs on the skid plates. And all that interlocking does the trick because the model's quite secure when it's fully built. The modules are robust and well made with metal wheel assemblies. The wheels look smart and there are very nice graphics along the edges, and it's nice that each module has a unique Mammut fleet number. The power packs have a nice control panel and non-slip surfacing on top, and they also each have a unique fleet number. A number of parts on the model are plastic, but the jacking system is metal and it's very detailed with good graphics. The gantry beams have lifting points identified, but they're non-functional. The converter is a huge plastic part and it's nicely made and well detailed. And some of the moulding is high quality with bolt holes clearly formed. The working features on the model are really the features of the modules, and they roll along quite smoothly. Each wheel set is individually steerable, but there's no linked steering throughout the modules. And the individual steering of wheel sets can be of variable stiffness, with some perhaps a bit too loose. But if you do set each of the wheel sets individually, you can push the module in a smooth curve. One thing that these modules don't have though is any form of suspension or ability to set the height of the wheels, so they're not as functional as some other modules. With the whole model assembled, it does roll along quite nicely. And if you want to take the time to set each of 64 separate wheel sets, you could show it steering. This is quite a big model, so let's go for a dim check. And end to end it's about 21 inches or 54 centimetres. And if we check out the height, it's about 15 inches or 38 centimetres. This is an interesting and unusual model by IMC Models. There are quite a few plastic parts, but they don't look it, and overall it's a high quality model. The biggest plus point is that it's very impressive when it's fully built up, but it is quite costly. All things considered, it's highly recommended.